Hello everyone, my name is Bethany and this is my channel, Thany's Thoughts. First of all, I'm having a really great hair day. I hope you can see it in this light. And I felt like it was a great hair day is too good to pass up to not film something. Curly haired life. Anyway, but I just started reading it and I thought I would talk about it. That it's going to be the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, the prequel for the Hunger Games. I just have thoughts. I'm about 150 pages in, 170 pages in. I was kind of dreading reading this because so many people have not liked it so far, and that's been really disappointing because, I mean, obviously I'm a huge fan of Hunger Games. I've really enjoyed the original 3 series, and it's been a while since I've read them, but, and I didn't reread them going into this. I'm getting some Easter eggs, but there's some Easter eggs that I think I'm missing as I'm reading this. And again, I think I was dreading reading it because there's been so much hype, but there's also been a lot of people who have been super disappointed. I tried to stay away from reviews because I really just want to read it for myself and get my own perspective before I kind of get too easily influenced by what other people are saying about it. But here's what I'm thinking so far. I'm going to try to make this as spoiler-free as I possibly can. Here's the thing, right? President Snow's awful. He's a very unlikable character. We don't like him. We never like him. As an 18-year-old boy, I still don't like him. I still think he's terrible. You understand him a little bit better. Like, what he's experienced through wartime makes a lot of sense for his character. But also, he's pretentious. He's arrogant. There's these moments and glimpses where he gets compassionate for like a second, and then he like goes, oh no, I need to like change how I'm being viewed and my physical, like he's very aware of how he needs to physically appear to everyone else in the Capitol, which is just really, really interesting. He's still unlikable, guys. He's still not great, and I don't know if this new character we're getting introduced to is going to improve matters either. Also, here's the thing too. Suzanne Collins has still got it. The writing just brings you right back into that world, and it's given you a really interesting perspective into how the Hunger Games started. So right now, President Snow, or not President Snow, he's Coriolanus. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name. He's mentoring in the 10th Hunger Games. So you're getting a really good idea of how the Hunger Games started, how they've evolved, what does that entailed. Like, it's just kind of because the 10th Hunger Games, they're trying to get more people to watch. What they need to do to get people to be involved in the Hunger Games. And it's been really interesting to see that process. And yeah, that's been really interesting because there's been other new characters that we've been introduced to. Like, there's a character, I won't say who, there's a new character in this book where he's literally just saying, the Hunger Games is crazy. Why did you come up with it? It's a terrible idea. You're killing children. I think the first Hunger Games book as a trilogy, I think so many people were horrified by that concept initially when the first book came out. And I love that there's a character, and that was like the 60th something Hunger Games. And I love that there's a character being like, when the beginning of Hunger Games are just starting to be like, who's saying, this is nonsense. Why are you doing this? But the Capitol's reasoning and what the Capitol's perspective is on things is really interesting. And I think I'm just going to go with that for now, without getting too spoilery thoughts. I don't know. I think there's a lot more here. The pacing is a little bit slow. I'm not sure how that's going to go and how if the pacing's going to improve or not, and how it's all going to come together and how it's all going to end. I kind of already know a little bit of a spoiler, which is not too much of a spoiler. I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far, or at least I find it interesting, and I'm interested to see where it goes. And there's still something really compelling about Suzanne Collins' writing style that I enjoy. And I'll leave it at that for now. We'll find out. Until next time. Hello, I'm back. So I've gone quite a bit more in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I'm about at page 320, I believe. I actually really liked how it was starting. I thought there was some really interesting elements that were being brought into it. And now I'm just kind of bored. I think that as a whole, I still think his character is super vain and super self serving and only cares for himself, which is what we already know about Snow anyway, and how he already feels about the capital. That's not really changed a whole heck of a lot, even though he's like put in these roles where he could be seeing the other side, he still really doesn't, which I'm okay with, I think, because I don't want him to see the other side. I don't want him to be like, oh yeah, now my whole world's changed. I am still feel sympathy for or empathy for the districts. No, because Snow never was going to do that in this book, in this prequel. And he's not going to do it. He was never going to do that in this book because we already know how he kind of turns out in Hunger Games anyway. But I kind of like that there's a couple characters that are really like, you are killing children. This is terrible. And it's like, yeah, it is really bad, isn't it? Like, I feel like in the Hunger Games, they're so, especially the people in the Capitol, they're so like disillusioned to it. Like, they just see it as actual games. And I think this book really helps you see how Hunger Games really become a game to the Capitol in a way. I also kind of made me wonder about like what, since Snow is a mentor in this. I mean, granted, the mentors were very different in this time compared to when Katniss competed, but it kind of made me wonder like what Haymitch was going through as a mentor. Watching Katniss, like I just kind of wanted a little bit of that. Like just reading this kind of made me interesting for what Haymitch's perspective of Katniss's actions were. Kind of like what Snow's reactions to Lucy Gray was. I don't think it's a book we're ever going to get. But I like Haymitch a lot more than I like Snow. So, like I said, I don't want to give too many spoilers. Right now, I'm just really bored. The Hunger Games is done. That he was mentoring. And now it's going in a totally different direction. And I'm like, where are you going? What's happening? I don't know. And I'm kind of like, So yeah, so I was really interested, and there was a lot of really interesting things happening, and I was kind of like, ooh, I kind of like, not necessarily Snow, but I like seeing what the capital was like, and, kind of getting more about how the Hunger Games became what they were, what you see in the later books, as opposed to the 10th. This is the 10th Hunger Games, which is very different than when Katniss was in it. So yeah, there's still a lot of interesting elements, and I still felt like I was part of Suzanne Collins' world, and I still thought there was really interesting things happening, and now it's feel like it's stalling out. The book ends at page like 520, 530, so it's about like 200 pages left. I really, really want to try to get it done in the next couple of days, just so I can get it done for my August readathons that I have going. I don't know. I really hope it ends strong. But now the Hunger Games is done, so what else does it have to say? I think that's where I'm questioning. I'm like, okay, book, you ended the Hunger Games that he was a part of is ended. Now it's taking a really weird direction I didn't expect. Sometimes it's a problem for me. Like if I don't know where a book is going, I'll either be like, I have to know what happens, or I end up being like, I don't want to know what happens. What's going on? I don't like this. And right now I think I'm in that space. Like, I don't like what you're doing. What's happening? That's my thoughts are right now. Until next time. And I'm back. I actually finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes a few days ago, and now I'm finally coming to film this. Just last thoughts. So when I got to page about 300, I was like, I'm done with this. It started really promising. I really felt like there was, I don't know, I felt like I was still interested in the story, and I felt like there was something there, and I felt like, it was all a little bit familiar, getting a little bit more about the history of the Hunger Games was interesting. And then the last third is like, I don't know, it's kind of a mess. It almost seems like two separate books. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit spoilery, but I'll like what time you can jump ahead because it's a little bit spoilery, but I'm going to try not to be too spoilery. At the end of the Hunger Games, it's like she didn't know what else to do. what we were left with was something that just seemed completely irrelevant. Like, I feel like nothing, all his time at the end at District 12 just didn't make any sense and didn't further develop his character anymore. It was very strange. So yeah, super promising, bummer kind of ending. I think for a villain origin story, there were moments that he had that could have led him better to being the villain that he became, and it just didn't push it far enough, or there just wasn't like a single like aha, he's finally like really turned. I mean, because the whole time he's a dick, the whole book he's a dick. Super about his status, super about his family name, and there's this egotistical side to him, and he's just kind of a dick. So he's kind of a dick anyway, and I figured he would be because he's 18 and he's a jerk. But it was like he didn't turn the corner in a way to become a full-blown villain in the sense that I wanted or what I expected. So I don't know. This was a lot. And it did drag. I mean, it did drag a little bit like before the 300 pages, but I really, by 3-page 300, I was like, I had to put it down because I was like, I can't read any more of this. I need to set it down. And I picked it up like a week or so later. Cause yeah, I was like over it. And yeah, the last third was super disappointing. I thought it definitely had potential. It was going somewhere. Yeah. So I rated it 3 stars. I can see why people didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I definitely liked the beginning, and I liked seeing the capital before it's become what it has become now. And, there's a lot of definitely a lot of thinking about which of like the inherent part of humankind, like, are they naturally violent? Are they violent because they're put in violent situations, or are humankind naturally violent and prone to killing? I mean, that's kind of like the whole argument of Lord of the Flies vibe I got from that, which is fine, I guess. I guess it wasn't really the story I was expecting. And I don't think it necessarily answers the question. I mean, I think it answers the question for what he thinks. But I don't know if that's not necessarily reality. 3 stars, kind of mixed feelings. Wanted it to be better. And I still don't know if I needed this story. And that's always what a series comes down to when there's like an addition to a series, when the series is completed. It's like, this story need to happen, and maybe not. I don't know if I needed this story. But there's rumors going around that there might be a sequel to this. I don't know if I want that either. So we'll find out. I still think this cover's really great. I still think this cover's gorgeous. I love how it ties into the rest of the books. I'm still probably keeping it. And it still makes me definitely want to reread the original series for sure. Because I think that's seeing and comparing him would be interesting in the original trilogy. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw and want to see more from me, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Hit likes and bells and all the things. If you read it, please comment and tell me your thoughts. I would really love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.